1 in 5 Americans suffer from chronic pain. Many are now using CBD for relief.
Activists are hoping pot could be legalized nationwide by the end of 2019.
When you look at premium cannabis, the Illinois House approved legalizing recreational marijuana.
Welcome to The Budding Report, a weekly show centered around all things cannabis. Please join us in welcoming our host, Charles Horton, and his co-host, Melissa Nasits, as they share the latest in cannabis news, conduct interviews with top leaders in the cannabis space, and promote some of the latest in science and innovation. And now to our host, Charles Horton.
Good afternoon or good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Budding Report. It's a nice cooler day here in Dallas, Texas. We had a nice little cold front move in, and it was 69 degrees this morning. Melissa, did you get out this morning?
I did. I was up by 4:30 this morning and on my way to the gym, so I got to enjoy a little bit of it.
Did you at least roll the windows down?
Oh, absolutely. I took the dog for a walk too, so
Oh, that's great. So you got some exercise outdoors. I hope our guests are having the same kind of weather. So the last couple of days, I went and I visited Dr. Chevier in Washington, D.C. So that's interesting. We're going to have a whole report on that soon. But, you know, I went and he had me, this is all about frequencies. So he had me hold these two metal receivers and it for about 15 minutes flooded frequencies through my body, and the answer is that anything that wasn't responding the way it should responds with a different frequency. So I'm still waiting for the report, but apparently I get a 132-page report that tells me what I need to pay attention to, but I know for sure, or he said I had Lyme disease, which is really interesting because I don't recall being bitten by a tick since I was a child, but I went and, Googled it, got my Google MD, and went out and looked at the symptoms, and it said some common symptoms of it were that you would have joint pains and you would have stinging, and I've been having that recently. I thought it was gout related. Now CBD's taken it away. I don't have those issues anymore, but I think once or twice, maybe a month, I feel like a stinging in my leg, and I think I'm getting bit by a wasp, and I reach down to slap it and nothing's there, and that's a common trait too. But I need to do a liver detox, a kidney detox. Wants me to do special things to get rid. He wants me off of all medications, which I think is a very good thing, except for CBD. Now, for a lot of the listeners, one of the things you're not going to like is that he wants me to drink nothing for but water, no alcohol, for 5 weeks, and absolutely no THC, as we discussed on the show. He's not a fan, but I'm going to try it out, and we're gonna see what happens. I thought I was going to give in last night on that that last part, but I held to it and didn't do it. So we have a great show lined up for us. But Melissa, welcome to the show, our co-host.
Well, it's always great to be here, Charles, and I can't wait to hear more about your visit up there, because actually after having him on the show and learning about what he did, it is absolutely fascinating to me, and I'm a big advocate of detoxification in any form and sense of the word, so I'll be very interested to watch the progress, and I promise I will try to be a good influence on you.
I think that I definitely could have some detoxes. I mean, it's time. Dr. Shaw, welcome.
Hey guys, good to see you again.
I know you're back in Phoenix. You said earlier. What's the weather there today in Phoenix?
I haven't checked, but I could probably just guess it'll be 110 plus. Maybe you'll be lucky and it'll be lower than 110.
I'm glad I'm in Dallas, but today, but at least you have a dry heat there in Phoenix, right?
It helps a lot.
You just don't go outside. I lived in Scottsdale for years, and summertime is just from air conditioning point to A point to air conditioning point B.
And Dr. Shaw, what is your take on the whole frequencies to detect and potentially repair problems within your body?
I think that it has a lot of possibility. I read one or two books on it in the past. I think there still needs to be some research done, but it's based on some sound theory, I think.
Good to hear. I was hearing from Dr. Chevier that a lot of the medical community doesn't necessarily take it all in. One of the most interesting things for me throughout this process and throughout the treatment is I'm a big animal person, and this cat, I don't know if the cat liked the waves that were going through or not, but this cat stayed with me through the whole process. So that was really interesting. On this week's episode, we're talking about marijuana legalization moving to the Supreme Court. So we're going to have a panel discussion about that. We have Denise and Jessica back of Canna World Expo. I had the pleasure of being a guest moderator with them on last Saturday, and look forward to doing those again. It was a great list of speakers. I think I got something from each and every one of the speakers. There was even a section on cell phone on cell phone usage in rural areas, and I don't think I've talked about it to anybody on the show yet, but I'm in the process of buying 55 acres in East Texas, and I'm creating basically a glamping gone crazy wellness retreat with a 5-star spa, pool, wellness center, and then every type of lodging imaginable, from camping to rustic cabins, to luxury cabins, to regular rooms. So look forward to all of y'all coming out and being part of this. We also have Chef Mary Adams on the show with us today. My personal chef quit overnight, but I'm in Texas, and I can't have anyone cooking. We can't do marijuana here, can we, Melissa? And I can't have anybody cooking for me with it here, but I certainly want to come visit you in Florida or the ladies in Las Vegas and be able to partake. So we're going to be right back after this short commercial message to talk about the marijuana legalization in the Supreme Court. Be right back.
Coming to you after our hike that we finished. Buster exercises 3 miles. Today is a recovery day because he did 8-mile hike over the weekend, broken up into 2. But what I want to share with you is this company here called Simple Changes. I learned about them and I absolutely love the concept. It's wellness, community, and organization. So as you can see here, I love the wrapping. I love purple, and it comes with 3 products. So I've been trying them out. First, it's the hemp oil spray. Then it's the hemp oil dropper and the hemp oil ball. So I'll be trying all of these out. I've been exploring them, exploring ingredients. I met with the team on Zoom. Really neat product. And I love the fact that they also want to incorporate healthy practices. So they come with a little journal and something about simple success guide. So, Simple Changes.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Budding Report. We're going to talk now about marijuana legalization moving to the Supreme Court. A group of plaintiffs have petitioned the Supreme Court to review the scheduling, Schedule 1, Schedule 2 of marijuana and cannabis. And we don't know if the court's going to take the case or not, but it's certainly interesting way to go about it. What do you think, Melissa?
I'm a little concerned because I don't know if they'll actually get in front of the courts. Looking at and after reading the article, seeing that, instead of going through maybe the FDA and the DEA, which would have been the normal way to transpire through this, they did go directly to the courts. And whether, especially during this time where courts aren't necessarily meeting in session, it's going to be a hard push. Do I, however, think that this is absolutely something that should be looked in the Supreme Court? I do. I 100% agree, especially when it comes to this particular case being regarding medical marijuana, carrying something that is basically a prescription across a state line. It just makes zero sense that you would even have to consider that as somebody that was dealing with some sort of medical condition and can't do it.
On our last episode, we were talking to a Texas local attorney who was talking about people that are flying to a state where it's legal and where it's not flour, it's actual the candies or edibles or any other form, and they're doing 50-year jail sentences for getting something that's legal in another state and carrying it back over here at the same time when basically the flour's been decriminalized in Texas. But still, if you have any other edible or any other form of it, it's you can do some serious time. I can't imagine spending 50 years in a small Texas jail.
For forgetting.
Forgetting
to take something out of your suitcase when you're traveling or driving.
For taking a plant that is healthy. And panel, what do you think about this?
Well, at Canna World Expo, we are all about access for all. And in 2016, when the first cannabis expo was happening in Fort Worth, Texas, I met Alexis Bortel. And I heard her story, and I heard how excruciating her life is. She's tethered to the state of Colorado. She could come home to her home state in Texas to speak for about an hour, and then they had to jet her off and get her back so she could medicate in Colorado. And when you're talking about a young child, she's 14 years old now. So when you think about, what kind of a life would you want for your teenager? This is really difficult. And she's one, and she's willing to go out there and tell everybody her story. So I would hope that people would support this initiative. And also Marvin Washington is one of our participants at Canna World Expo, and he spoke openly about the case and what they're doing to take this initiative forward.
Do you feel like there's anything positive to happen with the Supreme Court, or do you think that the bills that are moving through Congress right now need to be the way to go?
I don't have an opinion on that. I've seen what the governmental agencies have done, even on the hemp side of the equation. So it's challenging. So I feel like the people have got to use their voice, and more than 70% of the states have legalized some form of cannabis. So that being the collective voice of the people, I would hope that the courts would hear the people's case.
The last poll I read said 67% of the population is now in favor. It's so great to see such a drastic move forward. Chef Mary, what do you think?
I think every person in this country has a right to medicine and to homeostasis and to be able to either grow their own medicine or have access to their own medicine. The question again is whether it should be the court or the government. And I live in Florida, and it's a cluster disaster here with the structure of what the legislature has come up with. We do, the voters decided in 2016 that edibles were something that we wanted, and we voted for them. And it's 2020, and they are not in any of the dispensaries yet. So I have grave concern over allowing the legislature more control over us. I'm grateful that Ruth Bader Ginsburg is back at the helm and back at work, and hopefully we can get some opening in the court enough to be willing to hear this case. It would really mean a lot to all of us if we could move this forward.
I'm certainly happy to hear her health is improved. Dr. Shaw.
Well, this would be one of those circumstances where I would actually be in favor of the federal government having more of a role in just deciding this and putting an end to it, to eliminate a lot of the ignorance that could manifest at state and local levels. The idea that this is even still a debate when it's been legalized in other countries, like our northern neighbor, seems to me kind of laughable at this point. So if there was a way to have the court decide in favor of it and that would expedite the process, I'm all for it.
Excellent. And Jessica, how about you?
I actually agree on all of these points. It's really fascinating as well when you start looking at some of the existing laws. I'm home based out of Nevada, and Nevada is a legal state, so is California. However, if you go from Nevada to California with something, technically you are a felon. If you go from California to Nevada, you're a felon. So these states, even though the states are legal, we still have all the federal overseeing laws that create these levels of bureaucracy. And then, being able to, like Mary stated, allowing everybody to have access to this medicine. Dr. Shaw, you know very well that legalizing, taking cannabis off, Schedule 1, which puts it in, the class with heroin, which is absolutely crazy, mind-boggling to think that they could put this in that category.
I agree.
It does take away massive amounts of pharmaceutical income. And so I think there's going to still continue to be a massive pushback from Big Pharma, who does not want the health and healing back into the hands of the people. I mean, this plant was part of the pharmacopoeia. Our history, our country, the world is based upon cannabis, whether it's a form of hemp or, MJ. However, it used to be a part of our lives. It needs to be back into it.
Well, thank you, Jessica. One thing just to remind everybody, even though states have legalized it in many cases, federal law, it's still illegal. Now we have an administration right now that's not going after it. That doesn't mean that a new president or a new attorney general or a new feeling in any administration can change all that. And that's just not a good way to operate a business where you're legal now, but if somebody changes their mind, you're not. So we certainly need to make a change, whether it's through the Supreme Court or whether it's through the courts, and I'm in favor of both. Well, nice discussion. We are going to go back for a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have both Denise and Jessica joining us and talking about their latest World Canna Expo and the upcoming ones that they have as well. We'll be right back after this.
Hello, coming to you from the outdoors where I do my heat training, and I did my repeats on the hills. It's actually pretty empty, but it's kind of close to 90 degrees. So that's when I squeeze in whenever I can, but I'm actually here to share what Simply Start, Simply Satisfy is. So this organic hemp oil, this is the serum Simply Start, and you can take it twice a day or once. I already took both of them in this morning, so now it's lunchtime. Real quick and easy, yummy, delicious, 30 calories. The other one is Simply Satisfy. So it's a spray and also 3 sprays. You could do it once a day or twice a day. Again, I did it this morning. I'm doing it now at lunch. It helps you take care of your health and wellness. So learn more about them. Remember, 3 simple changes on how you can incorporate into your life. You can learn more at the link below. So stay safe and keep moving, keep training, and take care of your spirit, mind, and body.
Well, we're back with the ladies of Canna World Expo. We're very excited to have them back with us. You got to meet them a little bit earlier in the segment, but I'd like to officially introduce Denise Mahaffey and Jessica Chandler. Denise is a former national director of marketing. She founded Mahaffey Enterprises, as well as co-founded Trinity Global Enterprises, a public relations and media agency. So she was created to pioneer and grow emerging industries with marketing, PR, and media. And through her leadership, mass awareness of industry has ranged from IT and biotech to consumer and pet products, research, agricultural, natural wellness, and as you know, cannabis. So, and as far as Jessica Chandler, she is raised with a background of property developers. So she had a career in real estate. Her passion is buying and holding real estate, as well as empowering women, yes, to pursue work-life balance by owning income-producing property. She rose through this industry. She honed her craft to become a real estate investor, but in her passion for real estate combines public speaking and empowering an educational program, Legacy Wealth Nation, which launches publicly. Actually, January 2020 it launched. So again, you ladies sound like you're so busy with so much going on. We're so excited you could spend some time with us, and we're so happy that you're doing this Cannabis World Expo and sharing the good news. So I'm just taking it off. What are you hoping to accomplish with Canna World Expo? What can we look for you to get done this year?
Well, we started in April, and actually we started in December of 2019, let me put it that way. And then COVID hit. So we had to shift immediately and use everything that we knew about online marketing and take the show on the road online. So we decided, hey, it's perfect time to connect the world. Let's go. So we hit it in April. And in April, we focus on planting seeds for the industry. In August, we focus on the bloom cycle of the plant, which is how do you grow? And then in November coming up, we're going to focus on the harvest. So what can you do with the plant, and what is out there, what is being done around the world? And we're connecting the dots from 6 continents. We've been successful with the exception of Antarctica, which we have a plan for in November. So Jess, you want to chime in?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, we've taken what could have been just a lemon with the whole what's been going on for the past several months this year, and we've turned it into lemonade by bringing a massive amount of education and information to the world about this incredible plant through sports, through various celebrities, through cooking with our chefs, all of it. I mean, we've been able to educate and entertain at the same time.
So I had the great honor to be a moderator with you on your last episode in August, and my God, you had some wonderful, wonderful speakers. Tell me about how you're finding all of these incredible speakers.
Well, I've been in the cannabis industry on the hemp side of things since day one with CBD. So what people really don't know about me is there was somebody that was messaging out information about CBD to mainstream media news. So when you turned on your television, you would learn about CBD. That was me. So through all the years from 2013 until now, I've made a massive amount of contacts in the industry. And I've been so blessed to bring all my friends along and have them speak their truth. And these are people who are absolutely vetted in the industry. They have passion for it. And we're really appreciative of the Budding Report and Dr. Shaw and you, Charles, for being a part of it, literally being a part of it. The August videos are posted to cannaworldexpo.com. And in the prior segment of this show, we spoke about the Supreme Court case that Marvin Washington is taking all the way to the top of the judicial system. So if you want to hear it straight from him, those videos are there.
Excellent. And so everybody, you can get on right now and watch all the different sessions. What's the website again?
CannaWorldExpo.com.
You can get on there and watch them at your leisure. It'll be a really good use of your time. I'm a people person. I like to be in around a lot of people, and I will tell you that, being honest, I was kind of dreading spending 7 hours on a Zoom call. But the information that came out of the call was fantastic, and I know we had a lot of fun too. Do you want to talk about some of the outtakes that were part of the show?
Oh my goodness, we always have fun with what we're doing, and we always have a variety of different outtakes. I mean, in fact, from the first go around back in April, we have kind of a outtake reel with some of it, where we had the word of the day for some reason was suppositories.
All the healers, it didn't matter who it was, they all pointed to suppositories.
Everybody was talking about suppositories. Who would have thought, right? So yeah, we've got everything from that. We kind of, we've played some of the. We were doing the Cheech and Chong. We had the pet CBD, and so Denise and I had a little fun with the Labrador scene from the original first Cheech and Chong movie. We even have Dr. Judy talking about how she was going to be at the church opening, going to get arrested again, and that's her job, go out and get arrested. So it's all about having fun with what we're doing while bringing information to the world. Because if you're not really having fun and enjoying yourself,
what's the point?
Think about what you're doing.
So what's in the works for the next Canna World Expo in November, I believe?
Ooh, I'm so glad you asked. So in the theme of harvest, this is where the businesses out there have figured out how to go from brick and mortar to online. That's what we did in August. So now we're going to shift to, what do you do with the product? And there are many different things, from textiles to new foods that are coming out. Jess, do you want to go into some other things as well?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, we've got the various products that I'm actually working directly with various physicians and medical groups regarding the use of the finished product in healing. So after treatments, things like that, from surgeries to beauty, there's all of this available to us, and how it's in. I don't want to blow a surprise, but we're going to have like some fun, cool testimonials from stuff that I have personally been doing as well, as guinea pig for all of this.
Hey, somebody's got to go first, so why not you?
Exactly, right?
So I was really jealous of you, Jessica, on the last show, because y'all did a cooking demonstration. And as part of the cooking demonstration, since it's a virtual show, you were the only one to get to eat the food. So I was really jealous. Tell us about the food that you ate.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Chef Melissa Parks was in our special cannabis CBD kitchen, and she prepared medicated product. And by medicated, I'm using her word. However, we were just utilizing CBD for this. And what you don't know is Denise snuck some food too. So you only got to see me eating it, but the reality is I was sneaking Denise some of the goodies. But we had, let's see. That one, it was the lemon cake was the one before. This one, oh my God, she had this tomato chutney thing that she made. She had ice cream, this organic vanilla ice cream.
Yum.
Just gets bored and makes ice cream, right? And this cherry compote type stuff that she put over the ice cream.
All infused.
And it all had CBD. And what's really interesting is she actually, the way she makes it, she has it so that she writes it on her containers and everything like that she left. You can actually dose with your food. So she writes down, and she knows exactly what it's going to be per serving. So when she's actually doing any cooking and stuff, and what she was doing with us is, here's this serving, and it's going to contain this amount of CBD.
You're killing me. It's lunchtime over here.
I know. I'm getting hungrier and hungrier as we talk. Dr. Shaw, you were on the show. Tell us your experience on the show, and do you have any questions for the ladies?
Well, this was a first for me, and I thought it was extremely well done. And I look forward to the upcoming November, is it, or fall? Canna World broadcast. I think it's an outstanding idea. They're unifying all these different disciplines and leaders of thought within the cannabis community, and looking forward to be part of it more and more. At some point, are you thinking of going more than 3 times a year, as the success would potentially let you?
We do, in fact. We hold the symposiums, the World Symposiums, 3 times a year. However, we do have monthly specific broadcasts. So on the topic that you were speaking of, which really hit home for a lot of people through the chat, we knew about that with opioid addiction, and how do you overcome and address opioid addiction, and how does cannabis interact with all of that in a hemp CBD space or medical cannabis on that level. So for your particular topic, we may ask you to come back for a very focused monthly episode where it's just you. So we do those in between. And so we go all year long.
Well, ladies, is there any last minute things you would like to say before we head back off to a commercial break?
We sincerely appreciate our partners at the Budding Report. You're helping us get the word out to the world and connect the message and the infotainment that's needed to grow this industry at a time when we're all locked down at home. So there's so much that we could do with online communications, and we are very much looking forward to November 7th and November 11th. And anyone who wants to connect with us can connect with us at cannaworldexpo.com.
Well, I greatly appreciate our relationship as well, and looking forward to our budding friendship growing. So we're going to head off to commercial. Thank you, ladies, for being on, and talk to you next time.
Hello. Here in my lunch run in the middle of the heat where I get my break really quick after training clients and leading some classes. I am taking my Simply Satisfy. It is 3 sprays, organic hemp. Next one is my Simply Start. You can take it twice a day or once a day. I already took my morning dose. I'm now taking my afternoon dose. One little yummy organic hemp. Check them out. Simply Generous. Helicopter. All right, time to go, Trina. Run down the hill. Bye-bye.
So we're back, and we're going to get to spend a little time with Chef Mary Adams. So Chef Mary is a graduate of Le Cordon Bleu. She's been a passionate chef working in her kitchen beside her grandmother and mother before she even decided to go off to school and hone her skills. A big background in Canna cooking segments, worked with the Magical Butter Kitchen, but her goal is to really increase acceptance in mainstream society of cannabis as a real and viable medicine that can change the quality of life and sometimes save their lives. So we're very excited to hear more about what you do. How long have you been cooking with THC, CBD, cannabis?
Thanks for asking, and thanks so much for having me on. I started cooking with cannabis a long time ago, before we realized the importance of decarbing. We would just throw what was left kind of on our tray in the brownies or in the spaghetti sauce. I never really attributed the medicinal purposes until most recently, I'd say in the last 5 to 7 years, where I've had to use it for treatment for myself for PTSD, and then I've cooked publicly and for patients throughout Florida the last 4 years, beginning with hemp and with CBD, because that was readily available. And then after cannabis passed, we've been able to utilize the entourage effect of what THC and CBD can do together, along with the components of food, to really change the quality of life for people, for really make a difference in how they can go about their daily lives. It's been a great experience.
I want to talk a little bit about dosing. I'm going to be honest and tell you that up until about 3 weeks ago, for me, an edible was a brownie or a gummy, and that's all that there was. I didn't know that there was this whole world of cooking both CBD and THC into foods, and now that I've seen it, I'm really excited about eating more of it. It's not readily available in Texas, as it's not legal here yet, but I'm looking forward to learning more. Talk to me about dosing, especially as it comes to THC, and how you feel like you're relatively accurate in your dosing, and what are you trying to accomplish, especially with dosing with THC?
With the THC, the process is different through your decarb, and there are calculators online. If you just Google dosage calculators, it gives you the ability to put in how much cannabis you have, what the actual THC value of that cannabis is, and then what you're making. So outside of brownies, I taught a class last week, and we made cannabis milk, and we used that cannabis milk to make cheese. And then we also used that almond milk to make ice cream. So you can create and figure out what your dosages are with up-to-date calculators available anywhere to anyone.
And for the second part of the question, what is your desired effect with, if you're using THC? Are you trying to take people through moods or experiences with different courses, or what is your thought process there?
Well, for me, homeostasis is what the AMA looks at as having your body as at an even keel. And so most patients start out or are familiar with cannabis in a smoking capacity, and it's hard to create homeostasis or an even keel or an even balance of your medicine all day if you're having to go outside to smoke or trying to use that kind of medication. So my goal for people is to be able to create their homeostasis and keep that throughout the day and throughout the evening, giving their medicine the most opportunity to help them, whether it's Parkinson's or whether you're dealing with anxiety or depression or PTSD. I work with a lot of patients that are a part of normal, regular society. People think they're probably not a cannabis user when they are. And so we do things like I make almond butter and nut butter. So you can take a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or an almond butter and jelly sandwich to lunch, and nobody knows the wiser that this is going to keep your moods and your levels safe and sane. And it's going to be able to keep your anxiety levels at 1 instead of up and down, which is where people tend to go if they can't medicate regularly. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So, Chef, let me ask you. So my background is in fine dining, food and beverage for years and years and years. And so I'm curious how your formal training was transitioned or helped transition into cooking with cannabis. And a note on that, what's your favorite food to eat with cannabis? Because that's always my question for a chef. I always want to know, what is it that if you could eat anything, what would you be eating right now?
The most surprising thing to me lately that I've made with cannabis that has been so interesting was a cheesecake, because they used fresh leaves and they created a bit of a minty flavor, which I thought was really wonderful. It was something that I didn't quite expect. What I love about my formal training is I think everybody that has cooked with their grandmother or their aunt for a long time is really blessed to have that information. But what I learned in culinary school is there are generations now of people that have no idea how to cook. Everybody is, eating out of a box or eating out of a drive-through. And so just basic skills, like in this cooking class that I'm teaching now, we decarbed 3 things, and then we made 3 basic ingredients. We made a butter, we made a dairy, and we made an oil. And with those 3 basic ingredients, which in culinary school you would know how to do, like last week we made mayonnaise with our cannabis oil. It was so amazing to see people make cannabis mayonnaise at home. So now whether you're making deviled eggs or a potato salad, or if you're making a ham sandwich or a burger, you've got cannabis mayonnaise or THC or CBD mayonnaise now in your refrigerator that you can use.
Are you ever incorporating flour into your dishes for the sole purpose of the taste of the flour?
I do. Flour is different. That's a THCA versus a THC. So there's different benefits to raw flour. So I combine it in things like salad. I like to use it like you would a spinach or any other type of a green like that. You can use it in like a roll-up, like a spinach roll-up like you would, or with grape leaves. I put it in stuffing. I use it in my spaghetti sauce like I would basil. I put the cannabis leaves in most anything. And one of the things in my research that I found is after you've decarbed, it's interesting that you can actually use the decarbed cannabis and the fresh cannabis together. And it makes a great combination and adds to the health benefits of whether you're making salad, oil, or an entire meal.
Oh my God, I'm getting so hungry, Melissa. We have to get to lunch. Dr. Shaw, to you.
Well, I think a lot of what Chef Mary has mentioned had to do with some production of various fats. And it's interesting because a research paper was published in late 2018 where they really assessed the bioavailability of CBD at different levels. And one of their findings, in addition to the tolerability, really simply put, that at high doses of ingested CBD, there was really no concern for any kind of adverse effect, that they found higher absorption levels when people had fatty meals associated with the CBD. So I think it's great that Chef Mary is incorporating a lot of that culinary chemistry, so to speak, into use of fats. I think this, as I've said on previous shows, I think this is going to be a huge field in the future, and potentially even a spin-off show, Charles, for yourself and us, to really dive into this further. I joke with my friends that I said, well, because I like to cook a bit, I said in the future, maybe I'll create, if it hasn't been done already, a discipline called sauciology, and I'll be, and this will be therapeutic-based sauces that you can add to things. So a lot of potential. It's great.
Completely.
Dr. Shaw, well, here's the $1 million question. I need this COVID scare to be over so we can have live guests here, and most importantly, doing cooking demos. So instead of hearing about it and salivating, I can actually eat and try. I know you'd love to be doing that, wouldn't you, Dr. Shaw?
That would be awesome. You could get on the Food Network syndicated. It would be outstanding.
I just want some of that almond butter. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna sign me up for that.
That sounded great.
Oh, it's amazing. And it's one of the easiest recipes there is. It's 3 cups of roasted almonds, 3 tablespoons of oil. So add your 3 tablespoons of CBD oil. If it gets a little too pasty in your food processor, just add a little water. But I mean, it's really that simple.
Well, yum. Thanks for that tip. Will somebody try that and bring it to me? I'm not much of a cooker. Well, thanks, Chef Mary, for being on the show. Really appreciate you coming on. Melissa and I are going to get off to to lunch after hearing all of this this food. But thank you again, Denise and Jessica, for being on. Thank you, Dr. Shaw, for joining us as always. And join us next week when our guests include Neil of Glam Law, so another lawyer on, and as well as Ryan Douglas of Douglas Cultivation. This guy's been in it for a very long time and knows a lot of things. So looking forward to having him on. We did our pre-interview, and boy, this guy's got some stories. We figure we could do a 20-part series just with him. So please go to our website at The Budding Report to get contacts to any of our guests. We love networking, we love connections, and they'd love to hear from you. So feel free to, again, connect them through our website. And you have a great week. See you next week on The Budding Report.